You were unveiling the Wraith, right, on Friday.
Yeah, it's the Inspired by Fashion car.
Okay.
Yes.
So tell me about it.
You know, this is a car that really changed the direction of the company quite a bit. You know, when we launched Wraith a year and a half ago, this really shows off what we can do in some of those new target groups. You know, this is a car that appeals much more to women, as well as, you know, guys that are looking for a more powerful alternative to a Ferrari or something else. But this particular car really gets into different paint schemes, textures, leathers, silk, you know, things that...
So the seats are wrapped in silk?
Well, the seats in this are leather, but there are door inserts that have silk motifs in them. So it really gives us an opportunity for, especially a female audience, to really play with something that looks incredibly dynamic and different.
You haven't tied it to any specific designers. A lot of people, like Maserati, will do something with Xenia, but you use your own Rolls-Royce designers for this. I think it's interesting, though, that you're showing it at Pratt for the Women of Influence in the Business of Fashion conference. So you really are courting a female buyer. How's that going?
Yeah, we really are, and it's been fantastic. You know, before this car, we were lucky that we had increased up to about 10% female buyers with Ghost. That's expanding a bit, even more with this, and we expect that this particular
Serenity,
car, and
right?
Serenity is a one-off car, but it really showed off what we can do with the silks. We're doing
Japanese inspired, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So we're doing that on a smaller scope with this car, but again, it really shows off what we can do, and the female buyer is the one that really enjoys that. And yes, this Friday when we show this off for the first time at Pratt,
like it. Hallelujah!
Well,
a car that's for a woman.
Females control the purse strings, right? I mean, more than 50% of the car buying decisions in the U.S. are made by women.
Absolutely. An overwhelming majority, I would say, are determined. If they're not the buyer, they are the influencer.
Okay, but this is, so I thought was interesting is that you're also going to be airing or unveiling this broadcast on Periscope.
We are. It's the first time. I'm not a big Twitter guy, and I'm certainly not a Periscope
social
person.
Media guy.
So this one's going to be new for me as well when we do this.
So that's a grab for the millennial, is that right?
It really is. And, you know, the people that buy our cars, they're not just fashion-oriented, they're tech-oriented.
Right.
They're combining all of this, so it's a great chance for us to test this out on Friday night.
So there was a great story, right, Matt? Remember this? I think it was in Bloomberg Business Week about how, you know, Rolls-Royce has been trying to get by or get away from this stodgy old, you know, image that, you know, this is like old British men drive this car, right?
Yeah.
So all started in 1984 with that great Poupon ad. Guys, roll it.
Finer pleasures.
Pardon me, would you have any Grey Poupon?
But of course, Grey Poupon, one of life's finest
So,
pleasures.
Eric, I heard that you have a jar of that on your desk,
I do,
right?
and it's the ad I can't escape. Yeah, a colleague, as a joke, left a Grey Poupon jar in the cup holder of my Wraith one day. So, yeah, thank you for reminding me.
And for bringing it back.
You know, I mean,
I hope it wasn't from 1984.
It all started in 1905, right, when Rolls and Royce came together and started making this brilliant car. Last year, you had the highest record of Rolls-Royce sales since those two guys met and started working together. Are you going to meet a record for sales again? Because I know China has been rough going in the first quarter.
Yeah, you know, the Chinese market as a whole is off a little bit, but again,
And it's your biggest market, right?
No, the North American market is the largest.
We've overtaken.
Yeah, for a couple of years now, and the gap is certainly so wide that it will take a long time, maybe a decade, for them to really catch up. So we do see, you know, a sixth record year in a row ahead of us. Are we going to be 2% up or 20% up? We don't know, and that's not really our target.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the way things are going right now, the North American market is still very, very strong for us, as well as generally around the globe. China still has its issues, but we do see a record.
Are we going to get a new drop head this year? Are we going to be able to buy one this year?
You won't be able to buy one this year, but let's give it about 12 months, and I'll have you behind the wheel of one.
I will hold you to that promise. Thank you very much.
Matt, every time we do these interviews, you like get a free car or something like that. This is like unfair.
I will tell you a little personal story. I actually went to Betty's house in the Wraith.
That's right.
Very nice.
Once and showed it off at a barbecue.
Shall we say what happened to it?
One of our directors curbed the wheels.
So now we know who it was.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
it was
Bill
William.
to Bloomberg. Yes.